you up.
You never played Grand Theft Auto 3 Liberty City?
No. I watched Dave play it, but I never played it myself. Although I did like
Well,
the
8-Ball
Moving
was a
Shadows.
rapper called Gangstar.
Oh, well, I suppose you would get those people in New York.
All the Boston
wouldn't you?
Post
Sorry,
has started
Liberty
following
City. Oh, Boston.
Let's see, we got oh, I just checked your Rumble channel. I can see potentially what you're building, but also know how frustrating it can be when your content doesn't get the attention it truly. Oh, this is interesting, I bet.
I
I'm
know,
offering
right?
a full Rumble growth kit. That's what she's offering me.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name, her name,
Does
Telegram
that
at
include the,
Bidabura.
Oh, well, that sounds like a trustable Telegram name.
Yeah.
So just this grow kit, does that include the UV LEDs, or is it just the red and blue ones?
No, it's a Rumble grow kit.
Yes, Rumble.
I think
nudge.
I think she sends you out a bubble phone. She's Deborah Ataboyi Atoyibi. Yeah.
Deborah Agadoo.
Yeah. But anyway, she's are you serious about growing a loyal fan base? Question mark. Best Deborah in Boomercat.
I was almost tempted to say no, but at the same time I'd be like, Deborah, what is your opinion?
Will you send me a bubble phone? I want a bubble phone from your company.
Deborah, I need bubble phone. Please show me you are serious.
I think Bobo phone is the best thing I ever learned from BBC Pigeon.
Well, what about throwing poo out the window?
Well, you don't want to do that, do you? Because you might come trapped for window.
Well, yeah, but they're like stories and such.
Shit, one woman done tro poo poo out window and come trapped for window. I can't.
Yeah,
I can never remember the headline properly because it doesn't make sense anyway.
It's not really English, is it? It's kind of a bit sort of.
It's pigeon English,
different.
So right then, so you did have a story to start with that wasn't the regular story.
Oh yes, it's not exactly Fortean, and it's a bit more sort of like, they're playing funny buggers now. So Roblox, it's a game children play, and as a consequence, it's a place where predators go and try and do. Well, the term we use now is grooming, isn't it? Which to me doesn't sound really appropriate.
Comb their hair. Comb their hair.
Well, yeah, I also
buff their shoes up.
I'm sorry. When I think of grooming, I think that's something you do to dogs or horses, or hamsters.
That's a really nice tash you've got there. That must have taken some work.
Yeah, grooming's not really saying where I think like. Why is that a euphemism for, hey, these are sexual predators and they're going to do predatory things to your children?
Yeah, they are going to. I believe the correct nomenclature is grape the children.
Ah, yes. On the first fucking date, so I've been told.
Yes.
Grape.
Yes.
Grape. Which also, have you seen the music video for that song? It's set in a Minecraft server.
Have you ever seen?
Seen
Grape Ape? Do you remember the Hanna-Barbera cartoon Grape Ape?
Is it just me? It's like Hanna-Barbera, like really cheap and lazy, and they just like did the same cartoon, but they recycled it. Like, have you seen like they recycled Scooby-Doo, but they were like, what if we made Scooby-Doo but worse?
What if we made Scooby-Doo, but he was a hairy caveman for no real reason?
And what if we did like the best thing I think they did was Wacky Races, and they were like, what if we just take the bit from this that everybody likes, Dick Dastardly, and have him not be able to? What
if Dick Dastardly races the other characters? He gets way out in front, but he does stupid shit, and that's why he loses the race every week.
Yeah, it's just like unnecessary, really. Well, just flat on this.
You know,
So,
if
so
he didn't, if he
wacky
didn't do
race.
the trying to fuck with everybody bit, he'd win every single race because he gets way out in front to do his dastardly traps, doesn't he?
Oh, what if, right? You did a show, and it's called about them Brexit gammons, right?
Yeah.
Because we here at Fortean Towers don't like the Brexit gammons,
No,
don't
we're
we? And we,
FBPE till we die, aren't we, Hobbit?
yeah, and
Can you
also,
even remember what
all hell.
FBPE stands for? I did know when it came out, but I just cannot remember anymore.
It stands for I take it in the arse, and also I take it in the mouth
It's usually, and it's
afterwards.
always followed by a Ukrainian flag for some reason.
Well, it just seems to be that, homosexuality and Ukrainian goes hand in hand. Like, we could ask dear leader Keir Starmer about, well, maybe we can't, but,
Yeah.
he knows a lot about
No, he
homosexuality
knows
and
nothing about it.
Ukrainians.
Nothing at all. Nothing.
Oh, no, sorry. I mean, he knows nothing at all, and that's a spurious accusation made by those Brexity gammon types,
Yeah.
which, by the way, Hanna-Barbera did a cartoon about, and it was called Wacky Racists. See, I'm very clever. So anyway, Roblox. It's a thing children are on. It's a thing predators are on. And there was this guy who did like some vigilantism, where he was like,
Did you ever notice?
gathered.
Do you remember Penelope Pitstop and the Antil mob? That's
I really,
that's a red pill tale, isn't it? Because those little guys are always simping after her, but she's not really interested in them.
I always fancy Penelope Pitstop. I can understand them simping.
Yeah.
So it's well, she was a bit of a gold digger, weren't she?
Yeah.
Do you think she had to go off to Poland because of the whole? Never mind. Uh, so anyway, this vigilante, right? Mastercard, Visa, and all that.
Didn't
So
didn't, didn't
he
she get
goes.
bigger and bigger breast implants to become Lolo Ferrari?
No comment. So now he did the vigilantism, and Roblox are suing him because hey, don't you know those predators were paying like the big premium bucks for Roblox stuff?
Hmm.
And I guess they're like they were upset that he got their loyal customers arrested. Mastercard,
Well,
Visa,
as we know, our elites don't really see paedophilia as a biggie, do they? It's no biggie, is it?
nor do they see OnlyFans as a biggie, because they're more into
It's
quiche
not their
than
daughters, is
flan.
it?
No, wow, there you go.
Yeah.
But so the temperance movement, or the modern version of it, which I believe is called Collective Shout, not a peep from them either, because why would you complain about that sort of stuff? Yet,
The
however,
NSPC, I'm sure.
um,
I bet the NSPCC were pretty go vocal about this, weren't they?
oh God, yeah, you couldn't get a word in edgewise for what the NSPCC had to say about this brave man, exposing predators on this platform that children use. But when it comes to adult gamers, and like, okay, put it this way, right? I am being what's the word here? Where you can entertain something, but doesn't mean you support it. Now on Steam and other gaming platforms are available, but we're talking about Steam because that's the big one, and that's the
Mm.
one that gets attacked the most. There are games for sale, and some of those games have content of an adult nature. And Mastercard were like, along with Visa, because it seems like there is no difference, and they just are a monopoly. They were like, yeah, we oppose gamers buying this stuff, and we're going to withdraw payment services for it unless Steam does our bidding. Oh, sorry,
Mm.
Valve does our bidding. It's Valve, like Google is not the company; it's Alphabet.
Mm.
Valve is the company that owns Steam.
Yeah.
So they did that, and then Steam has, well, hopefully, will do something about it, because
Well, it's almost
uh,
as if when you're messing with the big boys, they group up and they kick the shit out of you.
or well, the other it just like they were saying, oh yeah, we're opposed to this adult content, and we're going to draw payment services, but no, we're not going to stop doing payment services for OnlyFans. I haven't seen
Mm.
Visa and Mastercard bravely going against one of the, or Pornhub,
Mm.
other other pornographic websites are available. I feel a bit bad sort of talking about this stuff, but suffice to say, the hypocrisy is rife, and I don't think people like it very much. And the hypocrisy has been pointed out, but when you actually get like vigilantes doing something about it, all suddenly like, oh no, we don't approve of that. Yeah.
What about
So
that woman with the foreign adventurer who came into her house in London, and he was encouraged to leave
oh,
her house. No, he wasn't encouraged to
what
leave her
about
house. He was citizens arrested, but the police didn't want him arrested, so the police arrested everybody doing the perfectly legal citizens arrest.
well, they don't like vigilantism, and I think the takeaway from this is it doesn't matter what the crime is. If you're a vigilante, the police will come down on you like a ton of bricks. And
Yeah, but
in the case of
the process
that
is the punishment.
we know in the case of Steam, it's not about like what Mastercard does or does not find morally objectionable, because they still provide payment to
People who sell their buttholes
pornographic
online.
websites. Yeah, well, pornographic websites.
Yeah.
It's just it's one of those things of they're doing it to punish gamers because they see gamers as political dissidents. Now, why do they see them as political dissidents? It might have something to do with Gamergate, because it showed that, well, gamers do organise when it interests them to do
Well,
so. And I
gamers, they
think,
just want a game, and the problem is if you mess with that, then you're waking the great unwashed, which is something that really isn't advisable to do.
well, I mean, like the Romans understood from a long, long time ago that you got to give people their bread in circuses, and if
Mm.
they're bread in circuses. By the way, in Rome, there was like a daily ration of bread, and that was free to all plebeians. So that was the
Was that
subs.
dependent upon going to the was it given out at the games or?
No, no, because there wasn't. There's Rome had like millions of citizens, and the hippodrome, sorry, the Circus Maximus could only hold like tens of thousands, like the Colosseum. So the bread was just in bakeries all throughout the city,
Yeah.
and it depended a lot on wheat imports from Egypt, which is why the Romans conquered it from the Ptolemies,
Well,
which was a success.
Marie Antoinette knows what happens when you say, "Yeah, fuck you, you ain't having no bread."
Yeah, yeah, and so you
She
don't
ended up on
interfere
the
with the
wrong
circus.
end of a guillotine.
You don't interfere with the bread. You don't interfere with the circus. But as
Yeah.
the farmers will tell you, I mean, we'll expect to see it in next year's Clarkson's farm. Last year, 2024, it never stopped raining, and therefore the harvest was terrible. One of the things Clarkson likes farming is wheat, and it goes for really high protein wheat, because that's used for it's durum wheat, I should say, and that's used for making pasta,
Mm.
and that fetches a good price. However, last year, when he took a sample of his wheat to the nearby millers, they said, "Well, look, we've done the test twice, and it's failed both times. The protein count in this is so low that it doesn't show up on the test. You need high protein count for that." This year, 2025, the problem's been the opposite. We haven't had hardly any rain, and as a consequence, all the fields, the crops have gone bad. Now,
Mm.
if I was to be cynical or conspiracy tinfoil hatter, loopy madman here, one could say I believe nefarious agents are ones who hate the UK people. So, an enemy to the people of the United Kingdom
Are you talking about the government?
wants a. Well, I'm neither confirm nor deny that. All I can say is that people that hate the UK population have used weather warfare to ensure that the crops fail. So that's the
Yeah,
bread part
obviously
taken out. Now,
I mean, if you want to go to a complete swivel-eyed loon, insane nutter website, you can go to .org, the government, the
yeah.
government website, and see for yourself. The swivel-eyed loons at the government are literally
Well,
They're not. What was it? They're not. They're not. I mean, you can go back to our episode, but they're not participating in it, are they? But they're allowing it to go on, aren't they? The weather experiments.
Yeah, so it's like third parties do it, and that way the government can say, "Oh, well, there's no government program to manipulate the weather."
The governments.
While Yeah, but meanwhile, here's like all the geoengineering that stratospheric. They keep changing the name for it, right? Because it's like when they realise, oh, this isn't working, we need to give it another name to quote a Tony Blairism. We need to sex it up
Yeah.
so that we can sell it to the public. And it doesn't matter. The fact is, it's chemtrails, it's geoengineering. And the fact is, MasterCard and Visa have seen fit to, go, well, you fucked with the bread, we're going to fuck with the circus. And the way they've done that is through, well, just, this funny buggers that they're doing. they sure like to play funny buggers.
Yeah.
So, interesting times are going to be ahead, and I guess it's just in time to eat the Bill Gates
Well, you know what
food,
they say:
Bill
play funny bugger games, win funny bugger prizes. Which a lot of governments are going to receive a lot of funny bugger prizes, aren't they?
Well, I'm sure the new people of the United Kingdom, the one that King Charles, God bless him, is very fond of, the New English. They're going to be very happy when there's no more bread. The circus, well, they got that sorted out. They got their own thing for that, haven't they?
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm sure they'll. Well, yeah. I'm sure that they'll be very, very happy with the lack of bread.
Yeah.
When they go to their chicken shops,
that's
what they call it.
I think we've stunned them.
That's what
we've stunned them into silence, I bet.
I know. Well, look, it is a very doomy, gloomy sort of thing, but the fact is, it's always darkest before the dawn, isn't it? That's what they say. Yeah. It's always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah.
And that's why I've got hope, The worse things get, the better they'll be, because it's unsustainable. And look, I know people say,
no one ever gets away with his shit forever. Ceausescu... I can't think of any more, but Ceausescu,
Soviet Union.
I suppose you could say like Saddam, Gaddafi. There's reasons that they shouldn't have gone, but their people certainly seemed happy to see the back of them, didn't they?
Yeah, let's face it. The situation might be worse in those countries, but it's not through. There's no love lost.
Oh, an old school one. Do you remember Imelda Marcos? What's his name? Marcos, Philippines. She had the massive shoe collection. Do you remember her from the 80s?
Oh yeah, I thought she was Brazilian.
No, I think it was Philippines. Imelda Marcos. Hold on, let's see if we can. Let's do some old school politics, shall we?
We're going to do some history. We're doing some
history.
Are we going to be a BBC verified? We looking at who this...
Imelda Romualdez Marcos. Filipino politician. She was the first lady of the Philippines from 65 to 86. Right,
you see, with a name like Fernandez and all that, it sounded Brazilian.
So she was wielding significant political power after her husband Ferdinand Marcos placed the country under martial law in September 1972. She's the mother of current president Bongbong Marcos.
Bongbong Marcos, yeah, it's... he's very popular over there, Bongbong Marcos.
It was the shoe. The only thing I ever remembers about is the shoes. She had thousands and thousands of shoes, didn't she?
So she's a typical woman.
Yeah, just like an over-typical woman.
Well, what happens to a woman you have no credit limit? It's like, oh, here's the house where I keep all my shoes in. It's like, do you need all those shoes? No, you don't understand. These shoes are for special occasions.
So let's talk about her personal wealth. Let's just jump to that section. Philippine Supreme Court considers the unexplained wealth of Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos to be ill-gotten, based on the definitions set forth in Republic Act 1379, which was passed in 1955. The Supreme Court's interpretation of RA 1379 says that property acquired by a public officer or employee which is manifestly out of proportion to his salary as such public... Does this remind you of another woman who's very good at stocks, Hobbit?
I don't know who you could be referring to there, Sir Hemmingford Grey.
Sorry, it's not Nancy Pelosi, is it? It's her husband Paul who's the whiz. She's never spoken to her husband ever about any of it, has she?
Well, yeah,
apparently she's getting investigated.
Oh well, I'm sure all the evidence, the emails will be deleted. So
yeah,
she'll be
they're going to give her time to do all that.
She'll be reet, as the Northerners like to say. They say that, don't they? She'll be reet.
On one occasion, Imelda spent $2,000 on chewing gum at the San Francisco International Airport. On another, forced a plane to do a U-turn in mid-air because she'd forgotten to buy cheese in Rome.
Yeah, but how do you go somewhere and just go, oh, look, is there $2,000 worth of chewing gum here? Yeah, I'll have that.
How much is $2,000?
How do you spend?
This is David Lammy levels of Jaffa cakes, isn't it?
Well, I was just going to say, David Lammy has to get through thousands of Jaffa cakes a day because I did it. People like Interdimensional Lizard and Alphabet Cat, they saw me crunch the numbers when it came to that. It was an insane amount, but like assuming like your typical price for a packet of Wrigley's, other brands are available at Pornhub, X Hamster, those chewing gum brands.
Yeah.
It's 50 cents each. She must have bought like 4,000 packets of chewing gum. It's just like, oh, whilst you're at it, throw in that extra large suitcase, will you? Because actually, you know what? Let me just see.
How about this one then, Hobbit? In a 1985 report to the United States Congress House Committee on Foreign Affairs, the US ambassador to the Philippines, Stephen Bosworth, estimated that the Marcoses... What is a group of Marcoses? Are they Marcoi? What is a group of Marcoses, Hobbit?
A murder. Here we go. Right, so this is Tesco's website.
Hold on a sec. The Marcoses had stolen an accumulated wealth of US 10 billion in recent years. So imagine US 10 billion in 1985, Hobbit.
Do I have to?
Just imagine it. You don't have to work it out. Just imagine it.
Right, because I'm very excited for this next bit.
And also, have the Philippines even got 10 billion US dollars in it? I thought the Philippines was like dead poor.
I mean, I guess they must be doing gangbusters when it comes to sales of Rent Boys.
Oh yeah.
Like they do a brisk business in the Rent Boys. That, by the way, is because I know Ian listens. That was told to me by Sir Keir Starmer.
Allegedly,
it was because we were discussing. Well, you see, Sir Keir Starmer and I, we were having a cup of organic, cruelty-free tea with almond milk, and I was saying, so what's the economy of the Philippines based on, Sir Keir Starmer? And he says, well, Hobbit, you see, it's primarily based on Rent Boys. It's like, oh, do you know a lot about Rent Boys? Allegedly?
And CSA as well.
Where you see, yes, the Rent Boys in Philippines very profitable. Father's toolmaker, and
shit. How about this? No, hold on. It doesn't even make sense. How can they have taken 10 billion out of it? So through the period of martial law from 1972 to 1981 was marked by economic prosperity with a quadrupling of the nation's GDP from 8 million to 32 million. So God knows how many times the GDP they'd taken from the country. How can you take many times more of the GDP than exists?
I'm going to assume loans. A lot of loans.
Yeah, fuck me. To be fair, God bless him. He really rang that dishcloth out, didn't he?
I assume that IMF were just like, here's a million billion zillion dollars.
Yeah. Sort your country out, pal.
Please spend it on infrastructure projects and not like. Now, hang on, just a second, right? We've even got prices here. So, shall we use Tesco prices?
I found this page about Philippines in the 80s. During the late 1970s, film during the martial law era was used mainly for government propaganda, with many action or sex films banned or censored. Despite this, sex or bomber films were still popular, albeit utilising less overt but sexualised methods, such as depicting actresses swimming or bathing in tank tops, a technique known as wet look.
Can you just tell me what was the name of the current president of the Philippines?
Oh shit! It's a son in it, Bonobo or something. I don't know. Hold on a sec.
But yeah, so $4,000. Let's say that's £4,000 divided by £2.75. Oh shit! I've done that wrong.
I saw it.
4,000 divided by 2. Yeah, right. So they're saying the Bongo films.
She's got 4 kids: Amy, Bong Bong, Irene, and Amy. So she was very keen on the name Amy, and so she weird names.
Right. So a multi-pack from Tesco's, 5x10. So that's 50 pieces of chewing gum.
Yeah.
That costs £2.75, and that weighs 70 grams. Let's say you had £4,000 worth, not $4,000.
Yeah.
You'd be able to buy 1,454 packs of that. Right. So now we got
700 packets then.
No, 1,400. Well, yeah, okay. So 700 packets. Let's say she bought 700 packets because it also
they're also
airport, so maybe
airline prices, aren't they, as well?
Yeah, so it's probably a bit more. So
probably about 500 packets.
700 times 70.
Yeah.
And then I've divided that number by 1,000. So she bought 49 kilograms worth of chewing gum. It's like, yeah, I'm going to have to put that in the carrier in the check-in there. Chewing gum. How does that work?
I don't know. You just use it like putty, don't you? Chew it for a bit and let it go off.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I don't know. Just a guess, maybe. God! I've got a net worth in 2012. Imelda Marcos declared her net worth to be 222 million in 2012. So she's the second richest Filipino behind Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, good old Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, household name over here is Manny Pacquiao.
She's claimed without evidence that her fortune came from Ferdinand Marcos's discovery of Yashimita's gold, a semi-mythical treasure trove that is widely believed in the Philippines as part of Japanese loot in World War II.
Well, it's your word against his, and
I'll prove he hasn't found it.
Yeah. See, checkmate, atheists. You can't.
I don't get that. I don't get that billion figure that bloke was talking about. Then, if she's got 22 million now, I mean, even if she was like spending fucking insanely, I don't think they could have acquired and gone through 10 billion. But they even think that's a conservative estimate of how much they raked in. But I just don't see it because I don't see the Filipino economy having that in it. Unless you get stock tips from Paul Pelosi, I don't know.
Right, so did I ever tell you about the time I met a schizophrenic and he spent £600 in the toy shop on his children?
Yeah.
Oh, I did I?
Yeah.
And I was saying to him, look, maybe you should like tone it down with this. He's like, oh, this is to make up for all the birth. It's like, mate, look, just get them a couple of presents and £600 worth of toy. So yeah, you know what? I could imagine like spending $4,000 on chewing gum because it's just like, wow, it's not my money, is it? Yeah, just buy $4,000 worth of chewing gum.
Yeah, but then she's in a foreign country and she's probably not going to be going back there anytime soon. It's kind of almost logical in a way.
except it really it's not, because you'd just be like, hey, look, this is pretty good stuff. Talk to the importers. Let's
Yeah,
have them bring this in. I want to see this in shops. And it's like, oh, what do you mean they don't sell it in Singapore, and they cane people for doing right? Here's the thing, right? In Singapore, it's not against the law to possess chewing gum. But the chewing gum that is sold there does come with a little disposal thing. Same in Japan, really. It's kind of understanding. It's like, well, look, if you do this, you're going to spit out and put it into this disposal thing, or we are going to cane you.
yeah,
And they'll fine you like $200, I think it is,
yeah.
because Singapore, they're very, very strict on that, which I can understand them, but yeah.
Did you have
Why
another
did we start?
story? Did you have another story you wanted to do? I don't know. I just
No,
Imelda Marcos came out the back end of what you were talking about, and I can't remember why.
I'm trying. Oh, we were talking about Filipino rent boys because we're talking about Oh, that's it. Brixty gammon types that would
Yes.
say unkind things.
Yeah.
Because they do say unkind things, and the Brixty gammon types, which would say that, well,
The
I
sort
don't even
of people that
fucking
Stuart
remember.
Lee wouldn't like.
I'm sorry, I don't even remember what that point was about. It was, suffice to
I
say,
don't know how we got on. I don't know how we got on to Imelda Marcos.
we were talking about like
Even
gamers politically
Interdimensional Lizard isn't engaged in this one. Look at him. Look, he's number one chatter has only done one message in here all night.
Well, he's probably like sort of checking Mastercard and Visa's terms of service now, because it's like, well, what am I supposed?
I think he's lost the. I think we've lost the demographic of it. We're going to be like we're going to be like Stephen Colbert, where we're only pitching to the 68-year-olds.
Okay, so let's have some audience participation there. Press 1 in the chat if you want to hear me talk about gamers doing political activism, and therefore that's why Visa and MasterCard are ganging up on them. Or press 2 in the chat if you want us to talk about boring Nikola Tesla and the boring stuff he done. That was really boring, and who really cares about Nikola Tesla anyway? Nikola Tesla, more like Nikola makes me snore. So yeah, 1 in the chat if you want me to talk about like gamers rising up, gamer gang, or press 2 in the chat if you want me to talk about the actual subject title for a change. What are you, a fucking woodwoes?
Yeah.
No, you're just a woodwoes disrespecter. And we got a 3 in the chat. So
Fairy Morgana, we haven't seen her in for a while.
So what does a free represent? But anyway, basically, gamers are getting politically organised, and Visa and Mastercard sought to penalise them, and they're saying, "Oh, well, we're getting rid of porn games," except they're not. They're coming after, I think it was Red Dead Redemption, and which is an old game by now. Or was it Resident Evil? Because they're saying, well, Resident Evil, you might see a bit of gore in that.
Well, that's problematic because
yeah.
I don't think there's even any gore in the first one, is there?
Was I watching you playing it? I was watching someone play it the other day, and I thought it was nice doing the
over hours over mine.
Oh, that was who was playing it. Yeah, I was watching you play it, and I just thought I thought it was pretty cool the way they did the pre-rendered backgrounds. It sort of looked quite, sort of visually keen, or as they say. I like it when it's proper kino.
Proper kino,
and
proper kino.
Well,
Arcades likes a bit of proper kino.
I fucking love it when it's you can tell it's proper kino, but I'm from up north. And I happened to notice with this Resident Evil proper kino with the pre-rendered backgrounds, which I thought was very good with the limitations of the day. Oh, apparently there was some Japanese devs saying, "I do not understand why you are nostalgic for the wonky wobbliness of the PlayStation graphics. Why you emulate this?" And it's like, yeah, mate, you don't understand what gamers want. That's why you're not doing so well.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. Oh, you're looking forward to Uncharted 4 by Shitty Dog, whatever it's called.
No, I don't think I've really looked forward to any Shitty Dog game.
It's just they'll just fucking shit it up like they do every other fucking franchise they touch, won't they?
So I don't know if you watched Hate Bus, but one of the hosts on it is called Dwiggett, and he plays like games I would never play, and one of them was it was a game written by Neil Druckmann, and it's like you're in this apartment and oh, you see ghosts, and one's a ghost is your brother, and you're in this apartment, and you have to spend a lot of time talking. I will say one thing in its defense, because I watched Richie Milkis playing Dustball. My God, that was fucking painful, and I watched him playing that. I'm just like,
He still
like
talks
people
about
in the
how
chat,
bad
but
Dustborn was, then.
well, because it was really fucking awful, and the people in the chat that. Maybe it's like Bronald Block, where they're just like, hey, if we make Richie watch the most fucked up things possible so we can hear him say his catchphrase of, what the hell is that? That's funny. But I'm sorry, Dustborn wasn't funny. I would have rather watched like Richie Milkis play like 144 hours of Factorio, which would have been fucking excellent. I would have fucking loved watching Richie playing Factorio.
Yeah.
But there's not much talking in Factorio because it's like, you know, it's a game that involves thinking in your brains, and that's a bit too much for some people. So, you know, it's a bit too, you know. But anyway, yeah, people were just like, oh, the Dustborn, the funny meme game, you play it, and it's like, no, it was just painful. It was just yap, yap, yap all the time. Bit like our show. No, not like our show, because our show actually goes somewhere. It's not just talking about our feelings.
Sometimes it goes.
Yeah, but the curse of the Woodwoes is you mention a Woodwoes once and you never hear the end of it.
3 is talking about Tesla's gamer score.
The completely fabricated thing where he just outsources his gameplay to a H1B hire. Did you hear about that?
No.
It's some smelly Indian to play the games for him. And I'm just like, mate, look,
the other Tesla,
you can't just outsource.
Tesla the company, not Tesla the man.
You can't just Elon Musk. You can't just outsource. Like, the whole point of a game is like, oh, you know what? I'm tired from a long day of outsourcing all my work to H1B hires.
Yeah.
Time to play some games. Excuse me, H1B hire, can you play this game for me? Oh, yes, sir, I will play the game for you. Yes, I'm very good at Dota. I will play and I will use the cheats on it so that you do very well in Dota. Like, what's the fucking point in it? It's like saying, oh, I'm a really good race driver.
Couldn't he?
Pretty much. But it's like saying, oh, you know, I'm really good at racing, and it's like every time you go out racing, it's actually you go to the toilet because it's like, oh, I just need to have a pre-race poo to, you know, reduce my weight, and it's like you suddenly, you know, you go to David Coulthard and say, all right, mate, just slip on the racing gear so no one knows it's me that's getting there. It's actually you that's driving it, and then suddenly you go, wow, that's amazing. Your driving is almost as good as David Coulthard.
In fact, you even have a very similar style of him. You must have studied him very hard.
Oh, well, you know, it's because that Gran Turismo lap where you can race David Coulthard's Ghost in a real Formula One car. And my God, like, okay, so the thing is,
and your
right,
guitar there was a camphor wood.
So here's the thing, right? At one point, I considered myself a bit of a racer, you know, a bit of a lad, and back in my 20s, when I had the PlayStation, I still got that PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
I used to play Gran Turismo on it, and I was pretty good. You know, I was, you know, hot shit. Some might say even. And I'm playing this Gran Turismo, and just like, oh, it's David Coulthard's lap. Now, I was under no illusions going to beat David Coulthard on Silverstone in the car which he professionally drives, and it's like, you know, that's his bread and butter. The reason he's able to pay for his mortgage is because he's so good at driving that they pay him the big bucks. So I wasn't expecting to like lose against him, but I remember I did like the first like corner over and over again. I must have done it like over 100 times, and I could not beat him. And then by the second corner it was all over. Okay, let's do a lap. I think he was 20 seconds faster than me, and I was trying so hard at that. And there was this other
suspect that maybe you have autism.
Yes, but that's the thing about racing.
I'm just having shades of Rimmer with the Risk story.
Well, you see,
and what happened next?
The thing about racing,
I might have stuck both the dice up his nose, headbutted him, and they came out of his ears. Go on then. What happened? I threw a 6, and he threw a 4.
Yeah. Amazing. And then what happened? Did you take Kamchatka? I love Risk. But I tell you what, I've friends have not spoken to me after a game of Risk, so it's probably for the best.
You get a bit mad after when you play that, do you?
I just understand that there's like certain strategy to it, and it's it's no fun playing against me. But anyway, suffice to say, David Coulthard very good at racing, and yeah, you can race against him in I think it's Gran Turismo 5 or maybe 6. I forget which one. So Nikola Tesla, what's he all about then?
Who's he?
Well, so Nikola Tesla, he was the Serb Croat, and
actually, Hobbit. Nikola Tesla, born the 10th of July 1856, died 7th of January 1943, was a Serbian-American engineer. As we know, the hyphenated means he's just a Serbian. Futurist. So what's a futurist then, Hobbit?
Yeah.
And inventor.
A futurist. A futurist is a man who sees into the future, because what he did was
a JML
literally
futurist.
decades. Yes, they are actually, because the stuff they've done is like decades ahead of the time.
Did JML infiltrate the FBI and steal Tesla's designs? Because it's a bit funny how like the I'll make this a bit funnier by having a look on JML's site.
Yeah,
because it's a bit funny how we've been through most of his designs, and there's not the Max Elise head shaver isn't in there anywhere, is it? Or the Starlift power washer, the cordless high pressure jet washer, that isn't in there, is it? Or the soft sitter, the super comfy honeycomb gel seat cushion. Like none of those were in Tesla's designs, were they?
Yeah. No.
A futurist is like a racist for time.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a list of Nikola Tesla patents. I was trying to go on interesting engineering, but it won't let me. So
is the slap chop in there?
Tesla. Wow. I feel that we almost ought to have the thing, because I'm ready to read. Hobbit reads another list of items. Coming at number 10, alternating. Well, it doesn't matter really. But yeah.
I can never remember what to fucking ask for. I think it's pick of the pops. Got it. It's pick of the pops, Hobbit. So here we go. Here's some pick of the pops.
Yep, that's it.
Hold on. Here we go. Go on then, Hobbit.
Yes. Alternating current power systems at 1887. Development of radio at 1897. The Tesla coil, 1891 is when he invented the Tesla coil. Fluorescent and neon lighting, 1893. Amazing to think it's that old. The hydroelectric power plant at Niagara Falls, 1895.
Ooh.
The remote control, 1898. A Tesla turbine, 1909.
Hold on a minute.
The Teleforce.
Record scratch. Remote control, do they mean the infrared remote control, or they mean the remote control that you used to have for your video player where the plug gets bent and it doesn't work anymore after a while?
Tesla invented the world's first remote control device, a small boat
I'll bet you
operated via
invented that
radio
one for
waves.
the VHS where the pin gets bent and then you can't use it anymore. Do you remember that one?
A small
Hobbit?
boat operated. No, I don't.
Right. So you remember your old top
I
load?
don't-
You remember your old top loader VCR? Yeah.
Now I do, but that's
Yeah.
because my uncle had a Betamax. And
Well,
I
if
thought it
you
was
if you're
amazing
super
with the
posh
top
like I
loader.
was as a child, you could have a remote control, which came with a 3-meter jack lead, and what would happen was the jack would get bent, and then that's it. No more remote control.
Yeah, yeah.
Because obviously, like it's draped across the living room. Someone trips on it and then bends it, and then it's fucked. Anyway, back in.
Da, 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 da. So well, anyway, we'll go on more about the things later. But the Teleforce, which is a particle beam weapon. Oh, the Teleforce or Death Ray. Now, that's only listing 10 of his inventions, and he invented many more. One of my favourites, which is really underlooked, is the turbulence valve or the Tesla valve. Have you ever seen? No, I think.
Right, I still would
probably.
It's getting annoying.
Oh, what are you saying? Pick of the Pops is never annoying.
No, that isn't. It's not annoying. It's just annoying in the fact that I can't hear you properly.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, fair enough. I love Pick of the Pops. God, it is.
Well, actually, if Thriftful's correct, is Tesla stealing the designs for the remote control from black people?
Well, that's right, because as we all know, there must have been like some person of coloured folk that was working there, and Tesla just stole of his inventions because he was. Now here's the thing, right? I'm going to show you an image of it. It's brilliant, right? It's a one-way valve, and it's called the Tesla valve because he invented it, and it uses turbulence, so fluids can flow in it one way but not the other way. And you see what happened was this person of coloured folk, Negro, was having weaves, and Tesla was looking at the weaves, and he realised that weaves are actually the secret to fluid dynamics, and so he copied that. And that's how we got the Tesla valve. Now, is there an animated GIF? Let's see if I can find an animated GIF of the Tesla valve animated GIF, which he stole from person of coloureds.
George Floyd's great grandfather.
Yeah. The politically correct term is person of coloureds. No, that's just a normal valve. Come on, I want an animated GIF. Surely somebody can just be like, well, do you want to... watch here? That's interesting. Somebody's made a three-dimensional Tesla valve, and it's 8 minutes long. Is there like a real
Tesla
world
valve not used now? Then?
No, it still is used, but it's kind of like the Tesla turbine. It's a bit out
there.
It's a niche thing. Like I'll say about the Tesla turbine in a bit. Come on. Tesla valve in action in real life in suppressor.
IRL.
Oh, it turns out people. Yeah, but people, gun people, like it for guns. But that's interesting. So I'm going to give you a thing. It's a short, but if you change shorts to watch, it works quite well. Somebody's put some flammable gas in the Tesla valve to demonstrate how it works. So
let me try and remember how to
look,
do this. I'm going to try and.
I'm really struggling to do this right, but the wood woes are Mercury and retrograding my speech, and that's why I'm getting all tongue twisted. and it's just very difficult to concentrate. A Tesla valve is a brilliant thing. It's solid state, there's no moving parts, and it works entirely on turbulence. So
Oh, that's
if
disappeared.
you
It's gone to his chat. Oh, it's all right. I put the wrong link in.
so if you try and make fluid go the wrong way down the Tesla valve, it will work, but it will go very slowly because the turbulence of it, as it tries to go against itself, just keeps pushing against it. However, if you go the correct way around the Tesla valve, it all works nice and smoothly. So it's not got any turbulence really. So it's a brilliant valve, and if you want like something which is very reliable,
Oh God, I've got
and
to. No, I can't. I can't do it unless I sign in.
yeah,
It's being a gimp.
what if I change it into into oh no, because it will only play like for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've just got look. So audience, right? Those listening on the wireless, which was another Tesla invention.
Yeah.
If you type into your googly box, Tesla valve operation, Tesla valve in real life, you'll get to see it working. And there's loads of demonstrations, and there's even ones in real life as well. So they're like made out of concrete, and it's great. So there's one here with diagrams, and it's
Oh,
explaining
is
what
that
it's
image
doing.
any good?
Shall I-
That Tesla valve one. The
well,
German.
the image I sent before.
Yeah, the German one.
Yeah, I mean that is. But let me give you this thing, and I've changed shorts to watch. So hopefully, if you put that as a browser thing, it should just play. But it's
So there's the picture of it for now.
I would like mute the sound in this because it's probably copyrighted, and also it's not necessary. All the captions are explaining what's going on here quite well, I'd say. And it's it's fine. Come on.
It's YouTube won't let you watch the video because if you're not signed in.
To confirm you're not a bot. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing all that. I assume they're doing that to mess with FreeTube as well.
Oh, are they?
Because that sounds like yeah, because they don't like people not browsing on the site. So
Yeah.
But they
give
stuff
out
like
embed codes.
Yeah. So shall let me just describe some of this alternating current power systems and stuff like that, because these are the inventions that we're using to this day. So one of Tesla's most significant inventions developed the alternating current power system. Right. So I'm not going to read this paragraph. I'm going to explain it myself. Right. Thomas Edison. He had direct current, and the problem with direct current, with some special examples which I'll get into later, it doesn't go very far.
He was trying to flog fridges, wasn't he? But these fridges had like a crazy size cable, didn't they?
So no, in the way Thomas Edison wanted to sell electricity as a commodity rather than a utility, and the way he envisioned doing that was by using batteries. So the Edison battery is called a knife battery because it's nickel iron, which is NIFE, so knife.
Yeah.
And the idea is you much like you go and buy some can of gas at the petrol station, you'd buy an Edison battery and you put it in your car, or you'd put it in whatever, and you take it home and you power your radio and your lamps from that for a couple of hours, and then you go get another battery. And then Tesla said, well, look, rather than doing that, all that infrastructure to move batteries around, what if we had this alternating current, and you could transmit it over wires. Because the problem with your DC, because Edison wasn't stupid. Um, he knew
Well, he
that
was like
the
it was a little bit evil as well, though, wasn't he? Like none of the stuff he did, it was all about making a buck, wasn't it? Like Tesla was. I
he knew
assumed Tesla at some point were kind of like just wanting to improve mankind's lot, didn't he?
Tesla wasn't really interested in profiteering from his
Yeah.
inventions. He was more interested in like, look, these inventions are to the benefit of mankind. So he um, he said, look, Tesla, Mr. Edison, I know your DC current can't go very far without transmission losses, but if we use alternating
Oh, I
current and
found
if we
about
do
it.
it at
So
a very high.
Edison's direct current company. In 1878, inventor Thomas Edison saw a market for a system that could bring electric lighting directly into a customer's business or home, a niche not served by arc lighting systems. I don't know what they are. By 1882,
So an arc light is something that needs a lot of electricity. It's literally lightning between two
okay then.
electrodes.
By 1882, the investor-owned utility Edison Illuminating Company was established in New York City. Edison designed his utility to compete with the then established gas lighting utilities, basing it on a relatively low 110 volt DC supply to power a high resistance incandescent lamp that he had invented for the system. Edison direct current systems would be sold to cities throughout the United States, making it a standard, with Edison controlling all of the technical development and holding all of the key patents. This is something that Edison loved to do. He loved to hold the patents, didn't he? And then if he saw anything that looked remotely like one of his patents, much like Nintendo, isn't he? Like if he finds anything that looks like, he'll just sue the living fucking bejesus out of you.
Well, I mean, there's a very famous example where Edison was electrocuting an elephant to prove how dangerous alternating current was, and as we know now, that is not anything to do with that. It's just the fact that it's just he was doing it just to say, oh look, don't trust Tesla, trust me. Tesla correctly identified. Now,
so is this why the Yanks are still on 110 from the Edison days?
I don't remember, but I will say the 60
hold on.
hertz,
Is the key takeaway that you were talking about? To keep the size of the expensive copper conductors down, generating plants had to be situated in the middle of population centres and could only supply customers less than a mile from the plant.
Yeah, and that's why in the case of Tesla, he was just like, oh well, instead of doing that, I'm going to. Sorry, Edison's plan was anybody that's living far away from they can just buy my batteries, and it's oh, a friend of mine's just. I think I've seen this video. Can a Tesla valve stop a mega tsunami in city skylines? And like, if I remember correctly, it just sort of flows out the side, but it's not really a Tesla valve. It's kind of it's got baffles, but it's not done right. But anyway,
fucking hell,
so
these sound vicious. These arc lighting. So arc lighting, for those that don't know, by the late 1870s, arc lamp systems were beginning to be installed in cities powered by central generating plants. Arc lighting was capable of lighting streets, factory yards, or the interior of large buildings. Arc lamp systems used high voltages above 3,000 volts to supply current to multiple series connected lamps.
Yeah, look,
some ran better on AC. Some ran better on AC.
No, and the reason it's called an arc is because you've got an arc of lightning between two electrodes.
Yeah.
That's why it has to be such high voltage, which is impractical for domestic lighting. But it to this day, I think they still, like for floodlights and such in stadiums, they do use arc lights because they give natural daylight in the. That's very important. You wouldn't want like to watch a football game at night where everyone's got that sickly pallor and fluorescent lighting, and LEDs look wrong too. So it's also all those searchlights you see in World War II. Those were arc lights as well. They only last like few dozens of hours, but they're very bright and they're very, very good. But anyway, the thing is, Tesla said, look, alternating current, the higher the frequency is, the less conductor you need. So really, we want a system of 600 hertz. But it was impractical to make generators do that. So I think in America, the generators go at it's a multiple, so they probably go at 300 hertz. And the technology to make a frequency doubler didn't exist back then. So they just, the way they did it, they, as a compromise, they went to 60 hertz. And in Europe, where Siemens set the standard, we have 50 hertz because they're like, oh, well, you see, if we are German and we also generators 300 hertz, but if you divide 300 by 6, you end up with 50, and this is a good number, yeah. And so we all agreed with the Germans and said, yeah, we're all going to be 50 hertz. Unless you're in a place like Japan where they go, oh, let's use both of these systems. That will be very funny. And the only exception to that, I think it's either Indonesia or the Philippines, where they use 220 volts, but it's at 60 hertz, which was a real nightmare for me at the time because I was making this machine which had 3 different motors in, and the main drive motor was fine at 60 hertz. This machine had a vacuum pump which was fine at 60 hertz at 220 volts. The gearbox arm worked a bit faster, but it was still within tolerances. That worked fine at 60 hertz, but the drive motor would overheat and possibly catch on fire, especially as the Philippines is quite hot. So we instead, I think we used one of the 110 volt systems. And did we put a transformer? I forget what the solution was to the end, but we used one of the US and Japanese market motors for the platter turner thingy, to make that work on it. Yeah, because that's why I know about like electric currents around the world and what plugs they use, because it was my job to make sure that the right machine went to the right market. Anyway, as a compromise, I said about the 60 hertz, and we use 50 hertz here because it's when you've got a generator that's going at 300 RPM, it's easy to divide into those numbers. Aircraft, because space is at a premium in those, they don't use those systems. They have 400 hertz, and I forget what voltage they use. It might be 48 volts, it might be 400. I forget what. But because of the space constraints, they use 400 hertz mains, and they got these very special couplers between airports and aircraft, because they sort of say, oh, it's very important we be eco-friendly and all that. So they're saying here's the coupler which will mean that we can use mains electricity at an airport to keep all the electric and auxiliary systems in an aircraft going. So anyway, he did that very important thing. And the world agrees with Tesla. It's just practical. He said it was a compromise.
I've just got a quick paragraph to read out that's quite amusing. As AC systems continue to spread into territories covered by DC systems, with the companies seeming to impinge on Edison patents, including incandescent lighting, things got worse for the company. The price of copper was rising, adding to the expense of Edison's low voltage DC system, which required much heavier copper wires than higher voltage AC systems. Thomas Edison's own colleagues and engineers were trying to get him to consider AC, so this is in his own factories. Edison's sales force was continually losing bids in municipalities that opted for cheaper AC systems. An Edison Electric Illuminating Company president, Edward Hibbard Johnson, pointed out that if the company stuck with an all DC system, it would not be able to do business in small towns and even mid-sized cities. Edison Electric had a patent option on the ZBD transformer Hobbit. Do you know what that is?
It's a type of transformer. More than that, I can't tell you.
Yeah, and in 1886,
in my country we called it ZBD.
ZBD.
Why don't I look it up whilst you're reading this below?
Yeah, see what one is. And 1886 confidential in-house report by electrical engineer Frank Sprague had recommended that the company go AC, but Thomas Edison was against the idea. After actually, I'll go into the next one because it gets even funnier. After Westinghouse installed his first large-scale system, Edison wrote in November 1886 private letter to Edward Johnson, just as certain as death, Westinghouse will kill a customer within 6 months after he puts a system of any size. He has got a new thing and it will require a great deal of experimenting to get it working practically. Edison seemed to hold a view that very high voltage used in AC systems was too very dangerous, and it would take many years to develop a safe and workable system. Safety and avoiding the bad press of killing a customer had been one of the goals in designing the DC system.
Right, so ZPD, it's the name of the inventor, Karoly Zipanowski.
Yeah.
Which led to the invention of the ZBD alternating current transformer. It's a high efficiency transformer.
Oh, okay.
The ZBD system is based on a closed iron ring core with an arbitrary diameter and a coil around the core, which conducts AC current. So, in other words, it's like, is it a donut transformer? Is that the thing
current
there?
It sounds like a current transformer.
Right. Well, I'm looking at this thing here. It's a donut transformer or a toroidal. Here's the thing, right? Toroidal transformer.
Sounds like a current transformer, otherwise known as a CT. So CT is where you want to, where you want to up the ampage without upping the voltage.
Yeah, that's a more specialist system. This is primarily for transforming voltage. It's it's like I said, this transformer, the one he's worked on, I've seen it many times because my dad used to make amplifiers with.
Yeah,
and it's a donut transformer. That's what it is, simple as. So anyway,
it's a donut.
It's a donut.
Donut.
Oh, there was a thing recently. There was this Jew claiming that the first donuts in the world were made in the 1920s well, actually no, it was very carefully worded. It wasn't that he invented the world's first machine that makes donuts, so that he could mass produce them.
Did he get the idea from sticking his dick in somebody's donut?
Well,
probably.
I mean, have you ever seen a donut machine? It's kind of not really that, but it's like people. Well, the thing is, there are people saying, "Oh, well, actually, the world's first donut is oil cake, or from the Dutch, because here's the recipe from the 1500 oil cakes, which is the same thing." And then, if you go even further back than that, the Romans. I mean, okay, it's not a jammy donut, we know, but it's sweetened caraway seeds and honey. They had fried dough balls also done in.
I think donut is more the style. I think donut to me would be the style of dough, like the toppings. Like even if it's a sugar glaze, I think the toppings are it's the style of dough. I would say would be the main aspect of being a donut.
Well, the Dutch called it oil cake, which to me makes sense because if you think about it, it's sweet like a cake.
It's cooked in oil,
and
you can deep fry them.
Yeah. I mean that's it. It's an oil cake, and it is so. But the thing is that the dough batter, which is what the Dutch were doing as well, it's nothing new to them because they call it. I call it, and
well, isn't it the same as their the sweet waffle that they make? Isn't it the same dough as that anyway?
It's right. So there's different types of waffle. The sort of the one which I really like and everyone really likes is the Liège gaufre, and that's one which has got pearls of sugar inside the sweet cakey thing. But the batter you use for making a gaufre, also known as a waffle, is the same batter you use for making a donut. The Dutch invented donuts. I'm happy to say that. Look. It may have been a Dutch in the Belgium, but Belgium didn't exist as a country back then, so it's a Dutch invention. I'm happy to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the Romans came up with it first.
But I'd say the dough was the but you said the dough's got caraway seeds in it, and donut dough doesn't.
Oh well, that was the Roman one. Yeah, caramel. Well, you know the Roman very own. So they were very fond of fish sauce.
Yeah.
Uh, hang on. Into the group chat. Uh, wrong window. Yeah, it's because like I PM this to a friend, and it's like that's a very old transformer, older than Optimus Prime. It's like, yeah, it is. Um, yeah, so yeah, some people like to claim they've invented things, but they use weasel words. Oh wow, I never actually claimed that.
Yeah, it's a bit like
So the
certain people
yeah,
saying that they invented open heart surgery and things like that. The traffic light.
yeah, yeah, it's yeah. Um, so
Or peanut
uh,
butter.
um,
Like, how do you invent peanut butter?
yeah, nobody
It's like
figured out
inventing
that
gravy,
crushing.
isn't it? It's just...
Yeah, it's like, hey, look, I figured out if you put these this edible food into a mortar and pestle and grind it up to a butter-like consistency. It's like, wow, I've invented that. Um,
Yeah.
by the way, Aztecs invented peanut butter. Sorry. Yeah, and they invented chocolate. Well, actually, no, they didn't. It was the Belgians invented chocolate, but for a process known as Dutch. No, never mind. Look, radio, right?
Yeah.
That's a Tesla invention, often misattributed to Marconi, but I will read a bit about that out.
Well, wouldn't Marconi's invention be much like the TV, where the TV was about 3 different technologies put together by Logie Baird, isn't it? Like, so wouldn't you say that the bringing together of those technologies to make a specific thing would be inventing that thing? Would you say that, Hobbit?
I think
do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Marconi's thing was just like Marconi's patents were on the level of like Nintendo saying that you can't have gliding in your game because we got a patent on gliding. It's like, oh, you can't have jumping in your game because we got Mario and he jumped.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, it's like, look, that's patent trolling. Go fuck yourself. But by the way, Power World, I hope you do well. Isn't that weird, right? Where you got people who play Power World and go, oh, this is what I really wanted. Like, oh, I hate Nintendo for like suing Power World because Power World came up with a good idea. Yeah, I've still bought the Switch too, by the way. Yeah, because I'm a fucking simp for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Nintendo. By the way, come at me, bro.
Fuck you, and you simp.
No,
and you simp, and you
yeah.
Not and you simp, and you. Death.
Fuck you and your shitty control. Look, sorry, but the ColecoVision's controller was better to use than the N64. Worst controller ever.
Thanks, Nintendo, but I've got a Steam Deck. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
If I want to play Switch games as they were intended, I'll play them on.
Not that I want to ever play them.
Not that I would. Not that I would ever.
I mean, if I ever want to play a Nintendo game, which I don't,
yeah,
I would play it on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
So the prior to Nintendo patent trolling, there was this guy called Enrico Marconi. No, Marconi. He's not a composer of music. Nikola Tesla's experiments with wireless transmission.
Oh, the telephone as well was an Italian man, not Graham Bell.
Nikola Tesla's experiments with wireless transmission in the 1890s laid the groundwork.
Oh, yeah. You ever seen The Prestige, Hobbit?
For the world-changing technology of radio transmission. I was just about to say, yeah, David Bowie did a good film about Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
For the world-changing technology of radio transmission.
Alphabet Cat says, I think it was some American man who developed the electronic TV. Oh, Logie Baird's TV was mechanical, not electric, Hobbit? Is that correct?
It's a mechanical televisor, and the inventor of the cathode ray tube, not the television, but the cathode ray tube, was the Golden Dawn Society, which I believe we have touched upon in other Fortean Word episodes.
Is that with the Great Beast? That Golden Dawn Society, or a different one?
The first image they projected on the television was a Maltese cross.
Oh.
Very interesting. Yeah. Very, very interesting geometric shape to project on the on the cathode ray tube. But yeah, the Golden Dawn Society, I think, what's his name? Old Ozzy Osbourne. No. Who's the Beast 666? That's not Ozzy Osbourne. Osborne. He's
Uh,
older than him.
what's
He's
his
on
name?
Sergeant
Crowley.
Pepper's Lonely
Alistair
Hearts Club
Crowley.
Band. And that's it. Yeah, it's just all these
Yeah,
musicians making noise.
is it because Black Sabbath did Mr. Crowley? Is that what you're getting too mixed up?
Yeah, but also, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, it's got like all the people they've admired in history. And it's
It
like,
was
what?
anyway.
So
It was
Alistair
the Led
Crowley?
Zeppelin guy that was really into Crowley, wasn't he? Because he bought that house in up near Loch Ness, didn't he?
Yeah, but they all are.
Jimmy Page.
They're all like,
Jimmy Page. Yeah.
they're all into it because they're all Tavistock Institute. Like, we're talking about what's that play? Secrets in Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
That's what the book's called. But Laurel Canyon's where like the counterculture was invented by the CIA to disarm the Vietnam protests, because there was like a growing body of respectable young adults who were against the war and against the draft, and then the CIA invented counterculture. They flooded Grateful Dead concerts along with other things with LSD, in order to get all of these people, which they saw as a national security threat, to be rendered harmless. And the idea of rendering them harmless was to give them this drug that would fuck them up. And I suppose it did, more or less, because I mean, a lot of these boomers say, "Oh, it was a Woodstock man," all very like keen to like do second mortgages and them so they could cruises. So
Yeah.
it was a powerful weapon. Now, the development of radio, 1897. Did you know Nikola Tesla invented the radio? Yeah, he did. So anyway, Mr. Marconi.
So what did
who's
he
got a
actually
name,
invent? Did he invent something that eventually got assembled to be the radio, or did he?
Well, let me read this fucking paragraph, and to make
Well,
you
you
some
sounded like you
clues.
finished and you're about to move on to something else.
I'm trying to sort of get back into it. That's why
your cadence wasn't very good, Hobbit. You sounded like you were swerving away from the subject.
I know. The cadence was. Well, let's face it. The Woodwoses have had.
You're like a Yank. You know when they emphasise the wrong part of the word all of the time, and it sounds weird.
That's Australia. The Australians do that too.
The Yanks do it as well, don't they? They just emphasise the wrong part of the word.
So, Mr. Marconi, who's got an Italian name, he was initially credited with inventing the radio, received a patent in 1904 for his radio transmission system, which earned him the Nobel Prize in Physics. Tesla's patents
That's Dave
predated
McGowan's
Marconi's
book
work.
that you're talking about, Hobbit.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name.
Well, obviously, don't forget that Jim Morrison's dad started the Vietnam War.
Yes, he was at the Gulf of Tonkin. He was the commanding officer.
Yeah.
Oh, and Frank Zappa's father was the head of Dow Chemicals. He developed Agent Orange.
It kind of fucked his kid up, though, didn't he?
Oh, well, I think... Do you know, the weird thing is, I never really paid much attention to Frank Zappa, but I sort of agree with stuff he said. It's just I knew this guy on the forum.
My real experience of Frank Zappa was when he was in The Running Man, along with his son. No, Frank Zappa wasn't it. It was just Dweezil Zappa, his son, weren't it?
Oh, right. No idea then. But no, Frank Zappa said some interesting things which I neither confirm nor deny. I no comment, really. But he said some interesting things, let's put it at that. And his father, Dow Chemical, Agent Orange. The reason I dislike Frank Zappa has nothing to do with his music or what he had to say. It was just, I was on this forum and there was this like, you know how like Cobra is an obnoxious Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Imagine a more erudite version of that. It was a Frank Zappa fan, and he was just an absolute horrid arsehole. And then he died, and there was a lot of people like he's doing his eulogies. And I was like, well, I'm glad the fucker's dead. Anyway, he died of a heart attack. Fat fuck. He was a real piece of shit, by the way. So I'm not speaking dead. It was just it's what he would have wanted.
This harkens back to the time.
Imagine Royce, but more vicious and spiteful. And yes.
Oh, like the catty side of Mother.
Yeah. Who's the guy that gives me the heebie-jeebies? Wobblehead.
Yeah.
He's sort of, yeah. But anyway, a real keyboard warrior. Anyway,
Yeah.
Tesla's patents predated Marconi's work. Tesla had filed key patents granted radio transmissions early 1897, patents granted in 1900, and it's got the US patent numbers.
Because wasn't it a Hungarian that did most of the work into the TV before Loki Baird pinched most of it? Was it Hungarian, Yugoslavian or something?
Look, John Logie Baird invented the televisor, and that is entirely a Scottish invention. The Golden Dawn Society invented cathode ray tubes, and unfortunately, my late uncle, who'd been the expert in this, because he wrote many articles for Television Magazine, he would have known about the history of it because he was fascinated with televisions. Well, he was more actually, to accurately, he was fascinated with valve. And the cathode ray tube is a very large valve, so of course he was interested in televisions. He used to repair them. I remember when he took one apart and it smelled of fags. And I said, "Oh," it said as soon as he took it, I was like, "Wow, that stinks." And he said, "Yeah, this television's got a case of lung cancer." And I was like, "But they don't have lungs." He says, "No, you see," and he pointed out. He says, "I'm gonna guess that you show me with the high voltage 25."
Yeah.
And he's saying, "My guess is the tar has formed a layer here, and it is conducting, so it would have caused a short circuit, and then after a while, sort of scrubbing away at it," which is weird because he couldn't like clean to save his life, but he was very good at cleaning circuit boards. He says, "Yeah, I investigated these circuit boards, and I found the electrical damage here. It's where he did that. It helped me as well. Like I had this 5.1 speaker system with an integrated power supply in the subwoofer.
Yeah.
And it blew up when I was listening to Mountain of Needles at 3 a.m, which was very scary. And I just, of all things,
what do you mean, like
Needles,
big flashover or something?
Well, it's just imagine you're listening to Brian Eno, right? Mountain of very sort of laid back song, very relaxing, and then suddenly boom! It just the fucking subwoofer just make the windows and the doors round. It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna wake up everyone in the house.
I'm gonna.
And then I took it. Yeah, well, no. Apparently, nobody noticed, but it was ever so loud.
Yeah.
But it was a very brief, sudden boom. So I'm guessing maybe it woke them up from their sleep, but they went soon back to sleep. Yeah. Anyway, I took it to my uncle and I said, "Oh, look, I was listening to Mountain of Needles. Not exactly heavy metal." He said, "Oh yeah, I like Brian Eno." I said, "Yeah." So I was listening to that, and it blew up. And he says, "All right, I'll have a look at it." And then he came back to me like 3 weeks later. He says, "Right, I've taken it apart and I looked at it. What's happened is all the components inside, they've got epoxy resin, conformal coating, and they've done it because of the vibrations of the subwoofer. They don't want any dry joints to knock loose component. I'm really struggling with speaking. Anyway, suffice to say, the conformal coating that was inside, in order to keep all the components nice and secure, eventually after a few years becomes conductive. And because the conformal coating was put on mains voltage, that caused a big spark inside, and that was the cause of the bang. It blew up the amplifier. It just couldn't repair it because it's all covered in epoxy resin, so it's just fucked.
I never knew epoxy went like that.
Yeah. Well, it's the conformal coating, but
is that why they use that other stuff, that clear stuff now, don't they?
I don't know, but the thing is, I can understand why they were doing it, and I'm guessing it's like, well, that happens a few years after the war. It's all right. It's fine. It's just disposable fucking shit. Anyway, after a fierce decades-long legal battle, the Supreme Court patents covering the fundamental principles of radio transmission, invalidating Marconi's patents. In June of 1943, almost 5 months after Tesla's death, the US Supreme Court ruled in favour of Tesla. Today, Tesla is recognised as a true pioneer of radio. Invented the Tesla coil. Really cool. It's a high voltage transformer, puts out sparks. You can do funny... have you seen people playing music with Tesla coils and voices?
No, I haven't really watched much about Tesla coils.
Yeah, so there's these people that can do them, and they make this sounds with it. And the problem with it is because it's got like a carrier frequency, and it's got the pulsing frequency. So there's two frequencies there, and the carrier frequency you can modulate it with music or speech, and you can make Tesla calls which are giving out all these sparks. And normally they go bzz, 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 because it's Tesla. But when you
Yeah.
sort of modulate it, you can make it play music. Well, no, it's pulse width modulation. The interesting thing is you can't really do speech with it, but you can make some tones. There's this speaker called the ionophane, and there are modern versions of ion, and it's incredible, right? So, in speakers, you've got the voice coil, which is an electromagnet, and then you've got the diaphragm, which is made of it can be made out of various materials: aluminium, plastic, rubber, paper. And the thing is, they've all got their pros and cons. Not one's better than the other. Because I remember to my dad, I said, if I wanted to listen to reggae music, what speakers would be best? He says, well, you want ones with aluminium cone. And I forget why he was telling me what the virtues of that, because something about like the bass in dub music or something like that. He says, yeah, for that you want
I suppose it
aluminium
wouldn't that
cones
stop
because
your speaker from farting, as I call it? You know, the sound. With it
well, he
being
says
more
that you
rigid.
get you know what it is? Like
Yeah.
I bought and he's still got them, some TEAC LSX 8s, which are very good bookend speakers, and they sell them ridiculously cheap prices. And if you look on eBay, you should be able to find them for about £30. And I was so impressed with how they sounded. I got some TEAC LSX 7, and I think I can't remember which is which, but the LSX 8s and 7s have got a different sound to them. One sounds slightly more muffled than the other, and one sounds a bit more tinny than the other. And I'm not saying like one sounds bad, one sounds good. They both sound good. It's just you can hear there's a difference, and it's because yeah, one's got aluminium cones and the other one's got paper cone. Very interesting. I bought the LSX 7s for myself because I couldn't find any LSX 8s, and I sold them to a crackhead, which is a shame because I'd have liked to have bought them back from him. Um, and yeah, very nice speed. It's a shame, really. I sold him an amp too as well. Uh, oh, I really like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point being is the ionophane speaker. Now this is like if the point what I'm trying to say with these diaphragms is, or the material would color the sound. So if you could have like a material, no material, then you've got nothing to color the sound, and that's what the ionophane ionizes the air into a plasma, and then the voice coil makes the plasma go back and forth just like a normal speaker, and that's what generates sound. Now, they do say in it, use it in a well ventilated environment because it's producing a lot of ozone, and you don't want to breathe ozone in, it's very corrosive. It's bleach. And due to the voltages involved, that's why you can only make tweeters up the ionophane, because you'll be looking at, well, Tesla coil voltages in order to make a woofer, and that's probably a bit too dangerous for a domestic appliance because, like, your
Oh, they've
kids
gone
or
up a
you
bit
get
now. I
to
bet you're looking at about 60 to 80 now. No, it's one
which
pair,
actually,
one pair 80, one pair 93.
yeah. So back in the 1980s, when my dad was selling them hi-fi,
Yeah,
those were bookend speakers, and back then they were selling them for £100. And in 1980s money, my dad still thought they were like ridiculously cheap for the price
yeah.
because they don't sound shit. And the fact is, like, okay, so look, I've probably priced out the market now, but 40 words audience, if you're looking for a good pair of bookend speakers, get TEC LSX 7s or LSX 8. I can recommend both. So you did the Tesla call, very interesting. You did fluorescent and neon lighting.
Oh, the eights.
I
The
mean, I
eights are about 50 quid. The eights are a lot cheap. What's an LS30?
Here's the interesting thing. Do you know what the difference between a fluorescent and a neon light is? And I had to look this up. This is a geology term.
Yeah, neon's gas, isn't it?
Because they're the same technology.
It's the gas in it.
Yeah,
one
but
of them's got.
so's fluorescent.
Does one of them have argon in it? Is it the
So
gas in there?
neon lights. Right. So with the neon lights, they've all got a noble gas in them. So neon's like no, actually the first of the gases is helium, but the helium lights are very dim. There's actually. Shall we show a picture?
Well, neons
would
be neon then, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and you can the colours that came from the neon lights. The colours that come from them, they're all based on the noble gases. That's why you can't really have. Wow,
Fluorescent's that weird powdery stuff, aren't they?
Right. So I'll explain. Oh, do you want to see? No. Actually, you can't publish this picture, right? So I'll describe this picture to your. This unfortunately, I think, will get breach YouTube's hate speech. Terms of service. But what I'm doing, right, is I'm showing a picture of Piccadilly Circus in 1962, showing all the neon lights that are there. Also, a thing of Wrigley Spearmint chewing gum. You know, you could buy $4,000 worth, which is healthful, delicious, and satisfying. Now, it's amazing seeing this. But like I said, it is a hate speech because unfortunately it doesn't show London as it really is. It's it's been photoshopped and edited to only show white people, which as we know is just not true. Certainly not in 1962. Here we go. Right, this is beautiful, Hemi. This is an image that can be shown on YouTube. I'm going to also copy because they do compression on this. So this shows all the colours, and if I click on it, the guy who's got it written. Oh, you fucker! No, this isn't the one, right? But it shows all the different colours, and it's really annoying because I'm trying to find the one showing helium, because the helium one I thought was very interesting, and it's frustrating. Anyway, point being is different noble gases, different colours. The fluorescent tube uses a neon gas. However, it's not neon coloured because it uses a fluorescent layer. Now, to fluoresce is a geological term. Certain light, No, it's not a neon gas. Yes, it is. However, that's not what causes it to fluoresce. When you subject a fluorescing material to ultraviolet light, it will glow. So here's an example. You know Daz, their slogan was whiter than white.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because I used to sort of skive off school with my mate and we'd go into Laser Quest. And Laser Quest had all these black lights everywhere, which was amazing. So we'd go there and we're still wearing a school shirt. And it was, we'd sort of be glowing bright violet.
It was great if you went with a kid with dandruff, wasn't it?
Well, that's what it's like, because we sort of lit up like targets because we were wearing our school shirts, and the fact is they were done with Daz, and Daz uses in the wash these fluorescent material, just like in your fluorescent lights, and that's why when they say whiter than white, what they mean is that when you see it in the sun, the ultraviolet light in the sun fluoresces, and it makes the cloth, which is treated with Daz, other laundry detergents are available. It makes them fluorescent.
So is Daz
in
biological or non-biological?
That's another matter. They use enzyme detergents to break down stains, and whereas non-bio uses chemical process.
I bet because of bloody political correctness, you're not even allowed to use non-bio anymore. Use bio anymore, are you?
Well, I used to get really itchy when they used the bio washing powder, so they used the non-bio when doing my roofs.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so the
You don't
the
want itchy
difference
undercrackers, do
between
you?
no, the difference between a neon light and a fluorescent is a fluorescent light is a neon, so the gas inside it is neon. However, it's also got mercury. So if you've ever turned a fluorescent light off, do you notice it glows pink until it brightens up?
Yeah, until the
Yeah,
starter kicks it off. Or
yeah, that's
if the
it.
starter's gone, you have that pink thing, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what you're seeing
Or a
there
sodium
is
as well. Sodiums are like that, aren't they? They go pink until they go
well,
orange, don't they?
yeah, because the sodium lamp is the same technology as fluorescent, but I'll explain the difference in a bit. So what you do with your neon light, with your fluorescent light, is you've got mercury in, and as the neon heats up and conducts the power, the mercury heats up, and then when the mercury heats up, it gets much brighter. However, the problem is when you've got mercury glowing, it glows ultraviolet, which is not very useful. So you put this fluorescent coating on it, and then the ultraviolet shines on the fluorescent, and then it gives off this bright white light. And then you've got various like mineral coatings which give off different colours, so you
It's
can have
still
that
horrible because
sickly.
it's fluorescent
Wow,
tubes are just
you
horrible, though, aren't they? The
well you
lighting you get
say
off them.
that, but you say that you get that sickly green white glow. But when
Yeah.
I was uh, working in the factory, we were replacing all the bulbs in it, and we were using the triphosphate, which I was very interested in. And so this triphosphate coating, it was beautiful, brilliant white light. I thought it was absolutely superb, and it really helped when you're trying to do fine detail work. You know, it's like, where's that ferrule gone? Oh, look, there it is,
Yeah.
because the lights were just that bright. It was really good for a factory environment. Um, Color rendition index isn't perfect, but that's where you're
Horrible for
using.
offices. Depressing in offices, though, isn't it? Fluorescent lighting.
Well, again, the flickering of it is caused by faulty starters. So
Yeah.
you need like good quality fluorescence, and that's
Good
what we had.
maintenance, don't you,
You,
as
oh,
well?
you got to have a good ballast as well. Yeah, yeah. Because the thing is, you can't have people having eye strain when they're working on.
Yeah.
So that's the fluorescent. Now the low pressure sodium streetlight, which I really miss, and
Hobbit, I know you
unfortunately
really
you
don't
wouldn't
like
get
talking about fluorescent lights, but what has this got to do with Nikola Tesla?
because Nikola Tesla invented them, and so well, I just said we'll go to it after the thing, after talking about fluorescent lights. So low pressure sodium, very similar application, except instead of using mercury, it's much simpler than that because you've got to have the mercury and then you've got to have the phosphor coating and you've got to formulate it correctly so it fluoresces and gives off a proper white light. With the low pressure sodium light, which are beautiful technology, and I want one. Um,
Oh,
it's the neon.
According to Alphabet Cat, you have to change the starter every time a tube goes.
Yeah, yeah, that probably makes sense.
Yeah.
You got with the and plus they're only like 70p or something, so you may as well get a new starter.
Yeah.
With low pressure sodium, you
Well,
don't have
they're
the
all
phosphor coat.
LED retrofits now, aren't they?
With the low pressure sodium, you don't have the phosphor coating. It's just the neon, like a neon bulb. That's why they start off when they glow pink, and then as the sodium heats, it gives off that wonderful amber glow. Now there is something called high pressure sodium, which has replaced
There's
arc
actually
lights in some
there's actually
places.
I can't remember what it is, but there's some sort of safety feature in that orange light. Something to do with it's the frequencies, so everything kind of looks the same. I can't remember what the safety feature is, but there was actually a
It's
reason that
probably your night vision isn't as adversely affected by the
yeah
amber glow of low pressure sodium than that. And really, what the LED manufacturers should be doing is instead of doing these white lights which turn into schizophrenic violet lights as the coating goes on them, they
yeah
really ought to make the amber glow like low pressure. So, in fact, let me just have a
yeah
look. Let's see. Um, is
yeah. But
there
Hobbit,
an
that's old fashioned. That's
LED
like something from the 70s.
that mimics the light of low pressure sodium? I think low pressure sodium is probably a 1920s thing.
What's the difference
Well, I
between?
mean,
Because I always remember like it's maintained and non-maintained. Do you know what the difference? What that means when you're buying the bulbs for sodium lamps?
I'm sorry, but that's getting into street light fitters territory.
All right.
LED amber light that is that mimics average amber. Let's see if that comes up with anything. Oh,
Fairy
fuck's
Morgana
sake.
says white light worldwide.
What the fuck me?
Is this impenetrable? Is it? Whatever you were trying to read?
No, I'm really annoyed with search engine. When, like, you try and type something. This is why I like people use search engines now. Not search engines. Use AI because like they've deliberately made search engines so fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's to like bring sponsored content to the top, and it's like, look, I don't want Alibaba buy LEDs. I want to find, like, here's a Philips brand that mimics the amber of Nikola Tesla invented fluorescent neon light. Did you know he invented a remote control boat? That's pretty cool. That
actually,
used
I found something on Reddit
radio
of
to
it.
do that.
Oh, I've been blocked by network security on Reddit apparently. Why isn't there yet an LED that mimics?
Good.
Can you read Reddit?
Send us the link, and I'll look at that afterwards.
No, it's because someone's asked the question: why can't you buy? Why isn't there an LED that mimics high pressure sodium?
Well, that's different because high pressure sodium lights make this white light that's very good color rendition. I'm talking about low pressure sodium, and that's a very different kettle of fish. So the Tesla turbine. Now, Tesla turbine, really interesting thing. So Frank Whittle had problems with the jet engine back in the day.
Did you know this, Hobbit? So HPS versus LEDs. So they're doing the big high sell on how great LEDs are. Additionally, HPS lamps pose a potential fire hazard, especially if you dispose of them. If such a lamp breaks, the exposed sodium metal can result in a fire.
Yes, that's why. Yeah, I know about that. So anyway, he invented the Tesla turbine. Now, Frank Whittle had problems with the jet engines and stuff like that. And the Germans had a go with that as well. But the thing with the German ones is the metallurgy in it was terrible. That's why it would only last for like a sortie at most, and that's it. And then you're done. So
there's someone here that's done the versus the LEDs versus low pressure sodium, the pros and cons.
No, let's not get into lighting autism just yet. So, do you know why Tesla invented his turbine? Because it's got this real great advantage, which it's basically the technology at the time. It's really great for that. It works really well for that. Because unlike a modern turbine, which has got these fins in it, which are difficult to do, Tesla turbine's got none of that. It's a bunch of discs, and rather than pushing any fluid through gas, which is also good, it uses the viscosity of that fluid or gas to move it. So it can go very high speeds because it's just a series of discs. And it's quite inefficient, so if you're trying to generate power from it, not very good, because again, you're working on the viscosity of a fluid. But in terms of pumping, it's very good, and it's used to this day for pumping, because it's very...
So what's the difference between a turbine and a fan?
It's very reliable. Couldn't tell you, mate, and I've never bothered to find the difference. But anyway, not very good as a turbine, very good as a pump. But people still do use it as turbine. So shall I read what it says about the turbine? The Tesla turbine, known as the bladeless turbine, used a series of smooth parallel... because...
are you fed up?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
No,
Can you hear me?
Just talking to yourself.
Hold on one sec.
Hello?
Hello, is that better?
It's the same. Can you hear me?
Is that better? Hello?
I mean, it was the same as before.
Oh, for
So
fuck's sake.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
just carry on with it. Just carry on with it. Let's get this done with.
yeah, you talk.
Yeah. So the Tesla turbine is a bladeless turbine, uses a series of smooth parallel discs. I also think smooth should add an E at the end. That looks like smooth. Anyway, smooth parallel discs to harness fluid dynamics for mechanical power. Well, no, what you're doing is the viscosity. You're looking for how much can something drag on this disc to do it. Well, it did not gain widespread use in Tesla's time and remains a subject of interest for its innovative design and potential applications. It doesn't go into the potential applications. The potential applications of it's a very reliable pump because there's no blades in it. So if you want to pump out like sewage water or something, you use a Tesla turbine for it because there's nothing to catch on the discs. It's very good for that. It's a very good turbine. It can go at very high speeds as well. There's people. Well, not that you can show YouTube now because bullshit. You've got to jump through the hoops from. But yeah, it's very very good. So anyway, Nikola Tesla said, "Look, AC electricity is good and all, but wouldn't it be nice if we could have wireless electricity? Here it is. By the way, you don't need to generate in generators. It's all around us. Here's my machine that taps into the power difference between the air and the earth." And the first one he made was a Wardenclyffe Tower. George Westinghouse was like, well, you're just going to give people free electricity? Yeah, because it should benefit all of mankind. And they sabotaged it, and he died penniless, fancying pigeons. He was a very interesting man, but unfortunately this doesn't really do him justice. He is on par with Sir Joseph Paxton, but this is such a dry telling of the story. I'm just going to blame the Woodwoses. For whatever reason, the Woodwoses is like, look, we don't want because if we have wireless power, it will kill our last forests.
It's not the Woodwoses, it's the certain people at Discord, isn't it?
Well, it's not just them. It's the fact I've been struggling to talk. I really struggling to get this through. We can probably do this better justice another day. We definitely have got so much more to cover with Tesla. We haven't done enough from it.
We can do some more. We can do some more next week, can't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm spent, mate. I'm really spent.
So I need to get away on time tonight anyway. So so we
do you want to do 9
spooky.
minutes? I explain.
Or do you want to stay spooky? Do stay spooky now.
I'm happy to stay spooky. Unexplained mysteries will have to remain a mystery.
Yeah, it's better when you leave it to build up a couple of weeks anyway, isn't it?
See what I did there?
Stay spooky. Stop.
We're off the air.